So the Conference Pears at our home field are ready to harvest, and that's actually a difference to other years. Other years the Ulster are first. This year we're gonna start with the Conference. That's just because they have this big of a size and we want to get them in early. That way we can keep them for a long time. And the Ulster still need a little bit of coloring. So that's how we're gonna do it. So let's bring the harvest machines in and start harvest. We do have a beautiful crop this year. So as you can see, these trees, they are just loaded. And over the whole tree, the size is perfect. So that's the way we want it. It's full and the size is good. And that's what it's all about. So that brought one of the bucket tracks home, because this one doesn't seem to want to start, and we're gonna have to figure out why. It's either not getting fuel or it's not getting a spark, so we're gonna look what's wrong. There's an oil level sensor on these machines, so that's the very first thing we're gonna look at if the machine has oil. Because maybe for some reason it doesn't. Well, that looks fine. It's really hard to see where the spark plug goes. It seems like this is it. So I'm gonna first wiggle a bit. So maybe the contact is bad. So I found the issue. If I control the throttle, and it moves this rod, but the rod is not connected. So we gotta connect it, because now it's not even running at idle speed, and that's the whole problem. So we're gonna have to reconnect that, and that should fix the whole issue. Let's do that. Ja, starten. So I was scrolling through somebody else's YouTube a while ago, and I have seen an excavator burn down which somebody just restored. And it seemed like it was impossible to get that fire out just because of the hydraulic oil. It just keeps burning, and if you don't have anything to extinguish it with, then you will lose your complete excavator. And I didn't like that sight, so I bought 5 fire extinguishers, as I want every plugger track to have one, to be safe. So we still got the duals on this machine because we pruned with this machine for the whole winter, but for harvest, since it's dry now, we really want the duals off. So I'm gonna take the duals off. That way we have nice and narrow machines, which work a lot easier with the bin swapping. So then they are not in the way to stand on this position, because you actually want to be standing right here where that wheel is. So we take it off. So I got one of the machines here, and it's here because there's a little plate here on this metal rod, and that plate has to be tilted to make the filler go up. And once it stops tilting, then the filler doesn't move up again. But what we saw this season while running it, it's slipping a bit, and that means the filler goes higher up as it should be because it cannot break fast enough. So I replaced this plate, and with that I also replaced this lever, as the lever was really bad. But I also noticed the complete thing is mounted upside down in the old way. So I don't know where that went wrong, but somewhere in history that went wrong. So now I'm fixing it by correcting it, and we're installing the bolts again, and hopefully it's gonna do a good job filling bins again. Now that's working way smoother, so when the apples touch or the pears touch, it will move up. It did that before, but it would hit up too high. You could really see it floating like this above the bin. And with pears, it's not that well, but with apples, this would be a disaster. So it's good to have a fix now. It's good that we noted it. And everything is adjustable now again, because this is all new, so we can easily adjust the position of the flap by just rotating that small lever, and that's how we set the size of apples that has to go through before that one lifts up. Because big sizes need to fit under, but then yet it needs to touch and lift up. But with big apples you need a bit more space than with small apples. So this is all working like it should be again. So we got our Conference Pears finished at home, so now it's time to start harvesting this field. This one has a little bit less yield, but the yield looks better as last year, so that's great. As last year already was a good year, this one seems to be a better year. This field has been in a down for a lot of years, but seems to be it's coming up a bit better finally. We have been waiting a while to get it back in proper production. But it's good to see some pears hanging here. So I had some other things to do today, but that went on with the guys on the plucker trucks, and they harvested this field. So they didn't pick everything, they only picked the big ones. That means that we got bins with big pears here. So these are all having the size that we want, and we still have a lot of pears on the tree. On this side we actually have more. It depends a bit on the tree, as the trees are a little bit alternating, so not all have the same amount of pears, but they're close to. As you can see, there's pears everywhere, and they are a bit smaller, so it's good to leave them on for another 1.5 to 2 weeks, and we're gonna pick these then. So in that time they can grow bigger, and they will do that faster because we already picked a lot of pears off. So the tree is now giving all the energy to the pears which are left. That way they get bigger a lot faster, and hopefully we get a lot more kilos from this field. It's actually the first time that we harvest like this, as we always have harvested the pears in one pick. But this season it's exceptional. We have so many pears. As you can see here, there's all pears here. So we just want to leave them growing, and we got a really nice crop load. So other years there's only about 5 to 10% that doesn't make it to the size at the moment we're picking. And for that percentage we just cannot return. Well, I don't think that we ever had bins with such big pears of this field, as the pears always remained a little bit smaller. This is very heavy clay ground, and clay means it's giving a very good product, but usually also the fruit stays a little bit smaller. Fruit getting this big this year means a lot. We just had a really good growing season. Now let's go and load these bins up, as we have to bring them home. Now there's 2 more bins in the field, and one is hidden under this machine. We need to move the machines anyway to another field, so we need to get this one out of the row. That way I can access that bin, because I want to load it up. So if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to find out what the yield is of the total field, as we still have another round to go. Thank you for watching.